we invited our district governor, George Frey, to join us. And George, if you're here, say something. Okay. And then our partner in crime in this fair city is the president of the Jonesboro University Rotary Club, and that's Adam Sarton. Adam is on. I saw him earlier, and he's multitasking as well. So, Adam, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me, Brian.
And we also have a distinguished guest, and I'm hoping that he's been able to get on with us. We have a past district governor from South Louisiana. His name is Big Rich Churchman from, I think it's District 6200. Is that correct? No, maybe? Okay. And Big Rich was also a zone representative for Rotary, and we're honored that if he joins us, he's going to sit in and maybe share some thoughts with us later on. Let's see. Here we go. I can't see any people anymore, and that's kind of bothering me. But there's so many things that we can talk about, so many good things that are going on in our community, and let's try to share some good news. If you want to talk, or if you want to send a message in the little chat box on the side, feel free to do that. And just for everyone's information, an anonymous benefactor has agreed to cover the dollars for whatever good news is mentioned today. So don't try to break the bank, but let's go. Who's got good news?
Wonderful news is that no one was killed Saturday.
Absolutely.
That's true. Okay. Who else?
Well, I have some good news.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you recognize people, Brian?
Sure, Norm. Go ahead. I can hear your voice.
Well, one of the good things that happened for us is that people from all over the country that we've known have called to see how well we're doing, and that's pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes me feel connected to people that I should be more connected to anyway.
Right. That's good. Exactly right. Let me see what I got.
I have good news.
Okay.
It's Marty Allen speaking now.
Yep.
You know, the museum has been closed to the public for, I think, March 17th, but we're still operating online and in other ways. And my good news is that although we had to cancel our annual awards ceremony for the Through a Child's Eyes children's juried exhibition, we went ahead and we mounted all the art. We had the judges come, and we will have a virtual awards ceremony on our Facebook starting April 6th and continuing through April 10th. So it's a week. 2 grades of ribbon winners will be announced each day.
Well, that's great.
Free of charge. No charge.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. Charisse, I appreciate your message in the chat box. You want to share?
Come on.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Your sound just turned off, Therese.
Okay, here I am. No, I was just saying that I'm thankful.
There you go. You're on now.
Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I was just saying that I'm very thankful to live in a city where everybody puts all hands on the plow when we're in crisis. It means a lot to live in that kind of space.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Does everybody see the little chat box on the side and get to see what's going on, or is it just me?
I don't see it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
If you touch your screen, it
Nope.
works.
we have
Well,
that I think we can all be thankful for, and that's good news. Al Poston says he's here, but he can't talk.
Darn!
Very great news.
There
Trust me.
Is that
you
a
go.
Trust
that
me.
a laryngitis situation?
Al,
Laryngitis or just
trust me. Al can
not?
talk. We just can't hear him.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
By the
Have a
way,
friend.
if you'll look on your screen in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a little bubble, little thought bubble looking thing. If you click that, it
Yes.
will open up the chat window.
Ah. Oh, I
Can
see.
you-
Okay. Thank you, Sam.
Can you see me? Is my camera working?
Badly, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. There you are.
That's just Norm.
That's
Yes.
right.
I'm glad to be with you virtually.
Well, I'm glad that we can hear you now. Let's see who.
Hey,
Oh,
let me throw this one in to you, Brian.
All right, Russ.
Norm had the same problem at our 10 o'clock go-to meeting. He kept wanting to know if his picture was okay.
Okay. Christy Cates wants to put in an extra $1 in honor of Al.
Sure. I think that was Carl. Carl's here also.
Oh,
Drop it
okay.
in the
Well, hey,
can.
Carl.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. We had established earlier that it was that Carl actually was Christy, but I'm glad you're here. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
Personnel and are in our offices.
Okay.
It appears, by the way, that I'm a boy named Sue. On the screen, I come across as Susan.
Then you're in good
I don't
company.
know.
Now you're Norman.
Ah, good.
I want to wish Ruth a happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy
right.
birthday, Ruth.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
I'm not
Ruth.
counting anymore.
That's
Thank
okay.
you. Birthday.
All right, Lori, do you want to share your good news?
Yeah.
Nope.
Sure. I'm not really sure why it has me in there as Brad Clark, but anyhow.
Well, it's his computer apparently.
But yeah, so back before all this craziness unleashed on us, we had put our house up for sale, and fortunately that has not slowed us down, and we got an offer, and we're set to close next month. So fingers crossed everything continues to go good there. So anyhow, that's my good news. That's great.
That's wonderful. Tammy Camp wants to share. She doesn't have access to a mic, but her good news is that Superior Senior Care is still able to service most of their elderly clients during these hard times. And I can tell you, it's really, really tough when you're shut down and you've got 200, let's say, more seasoned women who want to get their hair did. The governor has been cussed so many times in our world because we tell them keep got the beauty salons down. The tattoo parlors they don't care much about. All right. Should we go on? Let's do some other things. Thank you for sharing, and I'll catch up with the other good news. Upcoming events, who the heck knows? We just don't know because, as I said in the newsletter, everything's been canceled or postponed. We're not sure, but we'll get there. Okay. We do this in the pets world for Rotary, and then we test for consensus. So if anybody throws an idea out there, if you like what's being said, you can go, that's good and that's bad, or that, yeah, you really don't care. So testing for consensus, if you want to share, and we'll look at the pictures and be able to tell how people think about it or how people feel about it. So that's just a thought that maybe we can carry through in some of these discussions. A public service announcement that we do need to make in our community and share as much as you can is, you know, that Census Day is coming up, and it is more important than ever for us to be counted throughout our city and make sure that everybody gets counted, especially some of these people that have been displaced by the storm. We need to make sure that everybody is counted, because that's where our federal money comes from. So whatever we can do, get people to submit their census forms. I did mine online, and it took maybe 3 minutes. Anybody else get the little form at your house?
We got it and filled it out.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. Very easy. Say that again.
Online is so quick and so easy. You don't have to worry about doing anything.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Here we go. I've got one more. Oh, this came from the city. Just if you want to help spread the word, talking about debris removal and how they want things set up. There are different piles that they'd like done along the street or along the curb. You've got normally house garbage, every week stuff, and then there's all the other things that we may be dealing with. So if you're out, you're helping some of these neighborhoods where things have been destroyed, this is what you need to be aware of. Share this with you in the bulletin if you like, or you can find it on the city's website. Well, let's hear a vocation. We were supposed to last week hear from Christy Cates. It's 90 seconds to tell us about your job. So, Christy, go.
All right. Well, my job has significantly changed since I agreed to do this. I am at home, and the essential workers at KASU, which is a public radio station, the only one here in Northeast Arkansas, are still at the station. Brandon Tabor is still hosting Morning Edition. Jonathan Reeves, our news director, is still doing the press conferences from the governor and any other updates, not only broadcasting, but also on our social media platforms. We do have a Facebook page, which is KASU Public Radio. We do have a website, kasu.org. In these times, I think radio, and especially the familiarity of different voices, are more important than ever. I am responsible for collecting individual wonderful, generous supporters of KASU, and I thank you. We were supposed to start our spring fundraiser Monday, but with what happened Saturday with the tornado and then, of course, COVID-19, we postponed it. We've been encouraging our membership to help with the tornado relief and to help their neighbors instead, and I'm unsure when that will resume. So I work at KASU Public Radio. You can find it at 91.9 FM. You can find it online. You can find it at different social media platforms. It is the only public radio station in Northeast Arkansas. We are committed to giving out factual information about COVID-19 and about the Tornado Relief Fund.
Okay, thank you very much. And for those of you watching, don't turn me into the police because I just touched my face. I shall. I thought we might take a few minutes to share some thoughts and share some ideas that you may know of or you may have heard of that need to be done, and that we can all help out, chip in wherever we can. Just to give you an idea, I mentioned in the bulletin that I reached out to Mayor Perrin and Judge Day and offered the services of the Rotary Club of Jonesboro to do whatever they needed us to do and get the word out to our membership that whatever needed to be done. Well, they appreciate that and said that they will be considering an assignment for us when something comes up. You probably heard that Chief Miller, the fire chief, had said that we have more volunteers out helping with the tornado cleanup than they need right now. And there are some ways that we can help. One is by supporting the United Way. They are collecting donations, money that will stay right here in our town, and that is of vital need. The Red Cross is also doing the same thing, but not only the disaster services for Red Cross, but the Red Cross blood services. They are in dire need of blood donors. So if you or anyone in your family are able, please consider making blood donations as well as financial donations to the Red Cross. And another is the Food Bank of Northeast Arkansas, of which we have several members in our club doing great work, but they're feeding people that have lost food. So you would consider that. They could definitely use your help. I've got, I talked to both hospitals this morning in preparation for this meeting, just to let them know that we were going to have this meeting. We were going to have a group together of people for whom service is paramount, and tell us what you need, tell us what we can do to help. Both of the hospitals say that any kind of personal protective equipment is direly needed. Both of them said that they have a website off of their standard website. It's /COVID-19, and it lists everything that they might need, or even the patterns that you can use to help make the masks and things like that that they might need. They mentioned that if you would consider gift cards, that they can help give their patients or family members who are in trouble. NEA Baptist said that they need the small hand sanitizer bottles that they're giving to their cancer patients to try to keep them healthy. So if you know of anything. And just to let you know, between the two hospitals, there are over 50, and I think the number is 52, direct care, frontline healthcare workers whose homes were damaged or destroyed in the tornado. So these people need us. So whatever we can do, we need to do it. Okay. What other ideas do you have that you want to talk about? And I'm keeping notes.
Brian, for those of us who remember the Katrina efforts that we did, we started out with taking clothing donations, and we quickly learned that was very problematic. And really, most of the clothing that we ended up taking and sorting and getting down there ended up being just thrown away. And what we learned through that was the most important thing you can send in that kind of situation is cash, so people can buy what they need.
Right.
For those of us who, and I have pictures, so I know who you are, of all the people that spent, days sorting, and a lot of people were just cleaning out the back of their closets and stuff that probably should have gone to the landfill or worse, ended up having to be dealt with. And I know someone is collecting clothing now, but I would think that cash would probably be the most important thing if you're able.
Okay, it's a good point. Thank you. Norm points out that the Helping Neighbors food pantry is helping individuals with food. Sometimes when you go through the Food Bank of Northeast Arkansas, you've got to be an agency or a larger organization. but Helping Neighbors gets their food from food bank as well, and they help individuals. So bear that in mind.
I might be able to add something. They've set up a system, and I'm homebound. I'm in that demographic, and so for the first time since 1995, I haven't been working there, and it troubles me. But I'm not there. But enough of that. They have set up a system so that people go to the cars and find out get the information and have the food brought out to the cars, so that there is a minimum of contact. They do need donations of food or money. Churches have done this in the past, or other religious organizations, and Rotary has supported it. But they have set up a system of helping the clients and they've created a safe distance to do that, so that people who are working in the pantry itself are not in contact with the clients at all times, and there is a distance one from the other. So as you pointed out, Brian, the food bank will sell food to Helping Neighbors food pantry, but the pantry itself is the one that distributes it.
Right. Good point. Thank you, Norm.
Brian?
Yes.
Brian, this is Bonnie Mae. I'm joining you all the old-fashioned way. I called in on the phone number.
Oh,
So
great.
You can't see me, but along the line of what was being said, I received a letter in the mail on Monday from Helping Neighbors Food Pantry, and what Norm just said was addressed in there. And they also said, with so many people now out of work, we believe the demand for our help will only grow bigger over the next month or so. So we are asking you to be as generous as possible. And if you feel you might be able to be a reliable volunteer, 1 or more 2-hour shifts a week for a while, please step up to help. And then they also asked about money and to mail it to their address, which I have in this letter. And then if you can volunteer, then the website. So I will scan and email this letter to you, Brian.
Thank you. I'll share it in the newsletter.
Thank you.
Lori Chandler, you've got a neat idea of, I've heard of some of those shirts. Tell us what you know about it.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through Facebook the other day and seen a post that someone had shared. I believe it's Long Electric, don't hold me to that, has partnered with the Unique Ink in the creation of some shirts that have the state emblem on there, and they say Jonesboro Strong on the inside. And I believe all of the proceeds, I think they're $20, and all of the proceeds will go to a local charity to support those that have been affected by Saturday's events. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, that's a way you can kind of represent, I guess, out in public that you have supported, as well as get a cool looking shirt too. So
I know that Running Threads is also doing that. They've got a design that they've created, and there's a company, a little cottage industry called Do Right By Me. That's right with a W. They also design shirts, and the shirts from Running Threads and Do Right are going back into small business owners that are struggling right now. But yeah, that's a great idea if we can support those who need it.
Yeah, I just posted a link to the Running Threads Jonesboro Strong T-shirt page in the chat.
Good. We can share those things among our membership and see what we can all do to help. What else? Somebody else got an idea? Okay. Somebody sent me a note and said that we need to make sure that we get the word out that there's an IRS scam going on right now, and people are contacting unsuspecting folks around town saying that they need their account information so their $1,200 check can be deposited, and they want their social security number and their account number. So just beware. There's a lot of slimy people out there. What else? What else are you guys hearing?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, as we all know, but just to be reminded of it, to be sure and just simply check on your neighbor. It's the little things too you can do. You know, we all have elderly neighbors that probably live close to us, you know, and to check on them.
Yeah, that's very important. And Jarrett just posted, and I'm glad you brought that up. Today is the runoff election. With all the other stuff we've got going on in the world, don't forget that this is the runoff election for the House district, and that's important. Need to follow up on that. So thank you, Jarrett, for that.
Thanks, y'all. Just be safe going out to vote.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, stay 6 feet apart. If anybody coughs on you, I think you're entitled to do something. I'm not sure. All right. Who else?
One thing I wanted to point out too is as you're talking to your friends and your family members, or maybe even you yourself, if you've been affected either by the tornado or COVID-19, please reach out to your financial institutions and make arrangements to maybe have some extensions be made on your loan payments, such as your auto loan or personal loan or things like that, before getting behind. I just wanted to just let you guys know that your financial institutions are here for you, and we want you to help you get through this and do whatever we can. I know us personally, we're putting measures in place to be able to help those that have been affected, potentially doing up to 90-day extensions on their loans. So it's important for those people to know they have to be proactive, though. They have to reach out, and they have to make that step before getting behind.
That's good. Thank you, Lori. And just to dovetail on what Sharice said, just the posts that you see and the stories that you hear about people in Jonesboro supporting each other and saying, hey, I've got a house that's empty right now. If somebody needs a house or a place to live because their home was destroyed, come on. It's even got furniture in it. There was somebody yesterday that gave away a van to someone whose primary vehicle was destroyed, and the family had no way to get to work or get any kind of relief at all. So this person gave them a van. So anything that we can do is appreciated. Make sure that what you're doing is going to the right places, though. Neelam, go ahead. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine. I kept interrupting you. Sorry, there's a slight delay here. I just wanted to touch on something about volunteer safety. As a result of the tornado that happened, it's important to understand that we're still within the pandemic. So when people are going out and being very kind and generous to go and volunteer, it's important to remember that people maintain social distancing when they're helping, ensure that they have the appropriate supplies with gloves and masks and anything else, practice proper hygiene, and also consider vulnerable volunteers. So anybody that has, like seniors or someone that has underlying medical conditions or low immune systems, should ideally not be out there. But it's kind of just making sure that among the recovery and the operations to help our neighbors, that we're still ensuring that we're looking after ourselves. That's all I really wanted to add.
Good. Thank you. That's important. I created these and put them up all over work. Don't be this person. And then there's another version without the epizooty germs. I'm not sure exactly how well they're being received, but you never know. We even put little squares or little X's on the floor that are 6 feet apart, just so they'd be aware. Oh wait, I'm all up in your business. I need to back off. Stuart asked a question that I think it was interesting. You noticed too. Mayor Perrin was wearing a mask during the governor's debriefing. That I think they were trying to stress the point. If you noticed the press conference they had earlier in the day, they weren't exactly, I guess, showing that they were the 6 feet apart and that they were taking the social distancing seriously. And then when the governor came, if you looked at that stage, it was completely different. Everybody was 6 feet apart. If you saw the picture of the press out in the audience, all the chairs were at least 6 feet apart. Everybody was distanced, and the mayor was wearing a mask and just, I think, trying to be an example. And you're right. It was not as comforting as maybe it was intended, but I think the discussion needs to be that it's serious and we need to take it serious. Let's see. Sharice says that stores like Big Lots and Walmart are reserving the first hour of business for senior citizens who need to shop, and that's a very important thing. It's made me very popular because I can go in early and bring all the people because I'm old. But yeah, that's true. A lot of stores are doing that. I think Kroger is doing that too on, is it Wednesdays?
Monday through Thursday, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good. All right.
And what time is that? Like 7 in the morning or something, or?
Yeah, I think they moved it to 7. It was 6, but I think they moved
Okay,
it.
thanks, Stuart. Stuart says it's 7 to 8.
8.
So there you go.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and it's important, and it's good that some of these stores you go into, they're sanitizing the carts before they give them to you, and they're also offering you a wipe of your own to do your hands and to just make you feel a little bit better about what's going on. But it's serious stuff, folks. Okay. What else do we need to know?
I've had deliveries from Kroger, and
Yeah.
it was really easy to do. They just bring it to your door, or I had to stand on the other side of my gate and drop it off, and then I went and got it. So you can do that too. Or, I picked up at Walmart a couple of times also.
I have
All
Walmart.
these,
Yeah, I have Walmart delivery, and it's been good, but they're very limited as to like meats and certain things that I can't get, and I just put an order in at Kroger, and they have the things. So I'll go tomorrow and just drive through and pick them up.
Yeah, it's
Walmart.
getting
Excuse
ground
me.
beef. Go ahead, Norm.
Walgreens has, when you drive through for getting prescriptions, they will also bring other things to you that you need that they have in the store, and so that's helpful. The health food store at Nettleton and Caraway is also, there are very few people there. It costs more, but there's more people there. All these delivers, and we had our delivery done in an hour and a half. It was really surprising how quickly that came. I have a question of you, Brian. How are things at the village? You have a lot of people who must, by necessity, be close together.
we are making this a big point, teaching them about social distancing and flattening the curve and all that. The hardest thing, Norm, has been keeping everybody in. Just encouraging them to stay here. If they need anything from the outside world, I can get it for them, or their families can drop it off at the front desk and then we'll deliver it to them. But it's been a challenge. Just like for the rest of you guys and where you go and what you do, it's a challenge. Knock on simulated wood grain finish, we haven't had anybody sick yet. So, you know, we've got a few more weeks to go, because I don't think this thing's going to be over anytime by Easter. Al has pointed out, and Martha agreed, that sometimes it's not a convenient time for more seasoned folks to go shopping at 7 in the morning. But I can tell you, I'll offer, if you need anything, I can go pick it up for you and drop it off at your house, and I'm sure there's other members that would be willing to do the same. So if you need anything, seriously, in all seriousness, text me, let me know, and we've got people that can help you. Don't go without. Neelam says she can also help, so there you go. Thank you. Anything else that we know of that's going on in the community that we need to talk about or that we need to share? Adam, do you have anything that you've seen out there, because you've been out helping people clean up?
You know, Brian, no, I don't know that there's anything to add, except that it's been really interesting. So the storm wasn't even over yet, and Kohl's had issued us a PO, and they wanted us there at 10 o'clock Saturday night. And I thought that was interesting. I emailed back and said, hey, why don't we wait until in the morning? So I went out. I guess I was in Mountain Home, left, got to Jonesboro about midnight, went to Kohl's, and there was still police everywhere. I didn't drive over to around the post office side. I don't know if City Water and Light was out just then. We got there at about a little after 7 on Sunday morning, and it was like everyone already was in cleanup mode. I mean, it was amazing to look around and see every single parking lot. So we finished cleaning up 3 businesses. It was about 3:30, and I called Lyle Waterworth over at JPD and just said, hey, we're available if you need us. And he said, let me call you back. I was back 15 minutes later and says, we have no requests for parking lot cleanups right now. And so I thought that was really cool. I know I just got another email while we were on this call about, businesses having privileged licenses, and people should use local businesses. And I get all that. But at the same time, getting back to a state of normalcy, driving around and seeing debris, you don't want to see that. So having it cleaned up, I think, is important. And so when you drive around, it's amazing. The other thing I'll add is we were at Chris Gamble's pretty much all day yesterday. And if you haven't been out there, there were 19 between Ritter, City Water and Light, Craighead Electric, and their subcontractors, 19 vehicles out there all day long. And those guys, I bet there were probably 30-ish workers out there, and man, they hustled. Holy smokes. I mean, couldn't have been more proud of these guys and what they accomplished. At 4:40, they had already set the poles up and were pulling electrical lines across. So as far as Chris, it looks like he's going to lose 3 buildings. One of them is that 52,000 square foot warehouse. If you know Chris, put him up, and his whole team, put him up in your prayers. They've got a long journey ahead of them. And then I got to Kohl's last night, was going to turn the light generators on, and all of a sudden I get there and they've got power already. I mean, I don't know if y'all drove around and saw the post office, but just in Coles, we had to pull 2 cars out of the ditch, and then right there at the post office behind, the whole parking lot was just cars turned upside down, postal vehicles. So it's been neat to be kind of in the heart of it and be a part of the cleanup process. It's been neat to see everyone come together and work. I mean, Legacy Landfill opened it up on Sunday. If they would have done that, we would have finished up our first dumpster Sunday morning at, I guess it was 8:30, and we'd have gone home. We'd have been done. There's nothing else you could do because, and so Beeson's, Mark, and I forget the other company that jumped in and started bringing dumpsters out to folks. I mean, we ran through 5 dumpsters ourselves on Sunday. So anyways, it was neat. Hope that adds some value to you.
I appreciate that. A couple comments that have come in. If you're looking at your chat window, Superior Senior Care is also volunteering to go out and help people with shopping and picking up things from pharmacies and anywhere else that elders might need to go. Stuart brought up a good point, and Stuart, I really appreciate you being my straight man in all of this because that was on my agenda. I think it would be appropriate, and I want to ask the club if you might agree that I think that the work that the Region 8 Storm Team did on Saturday saved lives and was exceptional. I'd like to see the club be able to recognize them with some kind of meritorious service or some type of community service recognition, and that be shared with Ryan and Zach and Aaron, and then also separate but equally Trey Stafford at his radio station. He was on the air, and they don't have to do that, folks. I mean, especially in radio, you don't have to leave your family and go up and broadcast live from a studio just to make sure people are safe, but they did. And so if that's something that you could get behind, I'd like to explore it.
I think that would be great, Ryan, because the very last thing before our power went out and it was headed our way on Hilltop, the last thing I saw was Ryan Vaughn at his house and on his computer, and he said, "Take shelter." I mean, whatever words he used, it was like immediately. And then we heard the train. And so, yeah, he definitely saved lives because the neighborhood across on the other side of Bridger, they weren't so fortunate, but no lives lost.
And if you watch the coverage, you remember that the National Weather Service canceled the warning. There was a tornado warning, and they said, "Oh, nope, everything's good." But Ryan, based on his experience and the other 2 meteorologists that were in the station, they said, "Hold on, folks, this does not look safe. We're not comfortable with them canceling this warning, so take heed." And they did. That was incredible. Yeah,
because he said, "We're not through yet. Hold on." And then it dropped down, and it was just, the whole team was amazing.
Yeah. We've got Lisa Frazier sent me an email on the Small Business Association program. I will see if I can pull that up, and I'll share it with the club if that's okay, because our small businesses are suffering, and we need all the help they can, and you need to help spread the word of what aid is available. Yes, patronize your local restaurants, Jill. That's a good point. If you're not hungry today, buy meal or buy gift cards and use them later. They can use the money now. And even if you're as cheap as Gene Wing, tip.
Good point.
I got your debit card though.
He's
Yeah,
canceling
thank-
it now, Gene.
All right. Anybody else have anything that you want to share or that we need to discuss? That's awesome. You may or may not have noticed that our format for the slides has changed into a more techie looking thing just for the online meetings. It doesn't mean anything to anybody, but next week, did this work okay? Do you want to try this again and have a program and revisit some of these things?
I think
Yeah.
it would be. I'm great with doing this. However, we have to do it until we're released from this COVID virus. Yeah, absolutely, because it's been great to see faces when you've been in for so long.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now it's been mentioned, several people have talked about Zoom. I know that they're using Zoom at the university. Is Zoom better, different, whatever the format is this okay with GoToMeeting, or do we need to look at Zoom? What's going on?
This is as good as Zoom. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a huge difference, but this didn't lag or anything like that. And I think probably since people have, used this format today, I think you got to keep the same format.
Okay.
Carl, you have anything to add?
I think this is fine. Either way, I get either one, so we use both.
I appreciate being able to reach out to the techie folks in the club and
I prefer GoToMeeting.
information. Zoom is free, but it's limited in length of meetings. I can tell you that we won't go over an hour, I promise. But GoToMeeting, we've already paid for it through the district. So if it works for everybody, let's continue using that.
Yeah, Stuart just commented that it was limited to 40 minutes for free. So if we've already got an account with GoToMeeting, I'm good with sticking with this because I can use the arrows and go back and forth and see who all's here.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you
that's
for seeing the faces.
good.
Thank you for doing this, Brian.
Well, you're welcome. And let's close with our thought for the day. And I saw this, and it came from a Rotary district in India, and I thought it was so very pertinent to our world. Everything is not locked down.
That's good.
Folks, I appreciate you. You've participated in history, and we appreciate that, and it won't be forgotten. Thank you. And let me get my bell.
Guy Patterson. That's pretty funny.
Where's my bell?
If there are any leftover desserts, let's meet in the back and have coffee. I'm with Guy. I'll meet you there, Guy.
Take care.
Who knows?
There you go. Good to see everyone.
Thanks, Brian. You did a great job.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye.
Thanks, Brian.
Take care. Be healthy, everyone.
Thank
Amen.
you. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.